Welcome everybody to That's Good Stuff. Our deep dive into pop culture's newest releases. We're in person today. We're not divided by squares, so it's nice to see you all. Um, Today we are reviewing the Netflix original The Extraction 2 sequel to The Extraction, starring Chris Hemsworth. Um,
Will they ever be extracted?
we don't know yet. So, guys, this sequel sees Chris Hemsworth after the first movie where he was shot in the neck off a bridge, pretty much dead.
In a rancid river in India.
Yeah, polluted river in India. His handler comes and finds him, I guess. They take him to Dubai, and through the miracle of science, they resurrect this man.
It's just a miracle.
They Mass Effect to it.
And after just one little training session, he's okay to walk again. They take him to Austria and give him a cabin. I don't know who they are, but they're doing it. So he's there. He's got some chickens for friends now. He's living the life, and then Idris Elba comes, and he's like, "We got a mission for you."
No, he asked him if he has milk first.
Yeah.
Or he says you're out of milk. That's what he does.
Yeah, he chastises his shopping.
Then he shoots his only cup.
So the mission turns out, by the hugest coincidence of all time, that Hemsworth's ex-wife's sister is living in prison in Georgia.
The country, not the state.
Not our peach-loving neighbors to the south. So Hemsworth takes the job, and we get to the scene that everyone has talked about.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, this review is two parts: the scene, and then the rest of the movie, which concerns Hemsworth kind of in the basic protect the family, go after the bad guy kind of plot. But let's get back to the scene, because that's the big time. And Michael, I'm going to let you talk about the scene. So why don't you start?
So you say the scene, two things come to mind. So you got to clarify which the scene we're talking about.
The long
scene.
when
Okay.
he gets to the.
The other scene that I've heard people talk about is laughing at the point when he's in the train and he hides behind a ladder to avoid a helicopter's shots. That's the
Yeah.
other scene that people are like, you got boxes back here, you had an actual door on the other side. Not that you want to go to helicopters on the side, but
Well, I'm going to include that all in the
In
one
the
scene. The
In-
prison escape scene is what we're going to be talking about.
True. Yeah, it hit me at the point where it was whenever Thomas had talked about it. It goes the kind of like stuck not first person, but single camera on him. And I was like, they haven't cut yet. It's like, how do they attach that to him mid scene and then they take it off him? Because I thought he was going to fall down, cut to black. That's that's a really impressive long scene as is. Then it like detaches from him. It continues the fight. He goes outside. I believe there's a cut.
There's a cut
where the
yeah.
door blows up and he's driving the Jeep out because it has the like side mirror in. But then it continues on, and there's this like crazy like in out of vehicle scene of them driving, and I'm like, how are you flowing so? I mean, the pre-planning in this scene was insane to me. Like I couldn't like obviously I think that's why this movie. Not only that, but the action in this movie I feel like is really good. But everyone's loving this movie because of how well it was just kind of put together in that sense. The story sense, we had a lot of laughs about, but
we ripped this one apart.
There's a lot of silly stuff in that point, but yeah, it was just mind blowing. Me, choreography was great. I cannot imagine, especially. I mean, not only in the driving scene where you're like, hey, I need you to drive up at this specific point in this, but then like the fighting scene where there's like 50 fights happening around him while he's fighting people, while he's holding the chick, while she's beating people with a shovel head. Like, I don't know, man. I was impressed, and it was kind of blown away. I just kept waiting for it to actually fade to black, and didn't for a very, very long time.
Yeah. Thomas, what did you think of the scene?
So I thought it was kind of cool. Like Michael saying, like it took a lot of pre-planning for this movie to happen, or at least this scene to happen. The rest of the movie, I think, it was like, okay, we did that. What are we doing? The rest of this movie.
It does feel like that kind of.
The biggest complaint I have, I don't think anybody knows how bullet penetration works in this movie.
That's true.
No.
Like,
It is
because
wacky.
it is so inconsistent, because you have like people hiding behind basically cardboard and being fine, but then like the massive sealed train like the 300-ton train that they're fighting gets like blown up by getting shot at by a few times by a helicopter.
It's ripping through like three
Yeah.
of them at a time.
And at one point, Chris Hemsworth and his handler are like hiding behind this little console inside the train, and all the bullets, I'm not even kidding, like go like this around them. And there's at one point where like Chris Hemsworth gets on top of the train with a minigun, fires at the helicopter, and the helicopter fires back, but it's literally just like whoosh. It's just like missing him completely. And I was just like,
There's definitely some John Wick logic going in.
it's not even John Wick, because John Wick gets shot. But there's a plot point to that where he has the suit. So yeah, he got shot, but you know it doesn't stop him, even though it hurts. But with this, some of the stuff too, and also he didn't use his gun the entire time.
He used it as a bat.
Yeah.
as a bat, and then he's like, "Get back!" And then he like fires at the ground at everybody. I'm just like,
Yeah.
you should have shot them.
The only thing I could say there at that point was because there also were security people. Not that it seemed like he cared about not hurting them, but it seemed like he was just aiming for the people in front of him.
He
wouldn't,
beat
like,
some
take
of
the
them
whole
with a
crowd.
shield.
Yeah, no.
After a while, after
That was
they
the only
started
excuse I
attacking
had in my
him.
head, but still not
The
enough.
minigun part, there was like little slits in the train that I thought he was going to anchor. the
Yeah.
gun
Yeah,
on
yeah.
and shoot
No, he
out.
just like walks
And then
out.
he opens the garage door and he's like,
Yeah. Well, and it's funny that he walks out with like this belt-fed machine gun at one point, a different machine gun, and like he opens up the garage door, and you see like one of his like compatriots obviously getting mowed down by the helicopter because he's out in the open. And what does he do? He walks out into the open
Like, it's
to
fine.
shoot at the helicopter. I'm like, no, stop! Don't come back!
also, there's a minigun there.
Yeah,
You could have just
use
took
that one. Yeah.
I feel like that one's probably stronger than the one you're holding, but
Yeah, so I don't know. Like this is, I mean, it was cool. The one shot take was pretty cool, but I kind of thought it was a bit of a gimmick and doesn't really do much for the story because it only happens at one point, and then we get like freaking Liam Neeson hopping over fence cuts in the next like
Yeah.
half of the movie, and so I'm like, okay, that's cool. One takes are pretty cool, but you kind of need to keep up with that if you're going to try that. But I don't know. Like the one scene was, I think, it was a little overhyped, but you know, it was fun to watch. And also, we all watched this together, so we had a blast, like laughing at it. So
Jared,
I like the way this scene was kicked off. Literally, he kicked a bear, and then prisoners like like zombies
Oh my God.
arose from the dead, just like
it was literally like this, like.
should have been like the intro to a music video. Just the beat starts going.
it was a toy bear. we
Let the
should
bodies
say.
hit the.
it was a little girl's toy bear. He steps on it, and then just prisoners. Like I've never seen that.
It was like a Thriller was gonna start. Or something.
This, but the actual scene just reminded me like of a Call of Duty like level or something.
Yeah,
like that.
definitely.
Yeah. Definitely on the train. I was like, "This is a video game."
Yeah.
This-
Yeah.
Also, I like how the extract. Also, okay, so the whole thing is that these people are trying to get the family back from Chris Hemsworth, but again, nobody knows how bullets work, so they're just like emptying like massive amounts of like magazines at the family. Like literally, when they're driving away, you see like their gangsters like duh, 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 at the kids. I'm like, here to rescue you.
Jared, Jonah, you got any thoughts on this scene?
Yeah, they're not that dissimilar from Thomas's. It's very fun, especially if I crowd watching it. And the length is impressive. I think it said like 21 minutes was the scene.
Something like that.
But yeah, I agree. It's gimmicky at this point. We've seen so many like one take action scenes, especially from Netflix for some reason. And there's a lot of shaky cam in this movie, even in the one take, I thought.
I think the director's really partial to that because he's a former stuntman, I think.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
stuntman.
he is.
Yeah, and so he likes to actually hold the camera because like there's that huge behind the scenes of the last one where he literally stuck himself on the front of a car and he's just going like this with the camera, and so
I like that the person that they're trying to extract the sister-in-law.
Mhm.
I like that she kind of got in on the fighting.
Yeah.
Because she kind of had to. Her like motherly
It's
instincts.
not her being like helpless. She like literally beats a guy with. She beats several guys with a shovel. head.
Yeah, her like motherly instincts kicked in, and she's like, "Okay, we gotta get out of this prison somehow." So I'm gonna.
That shovel was an unsung hero because it like
That's true.
That thing.
It lasted.
That
a
thing
while.
held up. Yeah.
I just like how they kept it from whenever the bad guy swung, it broke,
Broke
off,
off.
and it just comes back and it just becomes this like main character in the fight.
That's the main character energy.
With the train scene though,
Mm.
it bothers me that in the bad guy's perspective. You're in a chopper, just go stop the train. Like go shoot some buckle up front. You could easily, but no, it's just like let's just destroy the back.
Also, those guys said they were way cooler than they were. They're
Yeah.
like, "This is Reaper Team."
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
They got like
"You're expendable, dude."
the little plastic helmets and
Yeah.
it's like protecting them and stuff. But yeah, like I said on the train, it totally looks like a video game like you would see nowadays where they're talking constantly like talking over the action and like telling you what
The
to
way
do.
the camera follows Chris Hemsworth is exactly like a video game camera.
Yeah,
Very third
definitely.
person.
And then like the helicopter you see like
Yeah.
zooming in and stuff like that.
It kind of reminded me of Jedi
Fallen Order.
Mhm.
Fallen Order.
Yeah,
That
the
first
train
part.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
But it was cool. I mean, it was,
I loved
it was
it.
fun. It was fun. Did the job.
Did we get to the plot?
Yeah, now we'll go to the plot. All right, so the second half of this movie is kind of a basic kind of action thing that we've seen
Mhm.
kind of a lot. There was a lot of, like Thomas said, there was a lot of fun to be had while we were watching it, just because the plots are kind of ridiculous. There's this kid. He's very annoying.
Yes.
He's one of those kids where you're like, just shoot him. Just, I was screaming for them just to shoot him in the leg because he just kept
Where's Dad? Where's Dad?
How many deaths do you guys think this kid caused
Oh,
in
lots.
this movie?
All of them.
No, they have like damage to
think-
property, like
You think someone from like the army or whatever Chris Hemsworth is from would think to keep an eye on him after a certain point?
Well, they had the brother like, hey, go after the kid, but first he
Yeah.
couldn't keep up with it. He was too fast for that
he's
guy.
weighed down by equipment.
Yeah, true.
Even though we've seen him like move faster than everybody else on the attraction team.
And if you think we're being too hard on kids, there was this little girl who was
She was awesome.
She
Yeah.
was
She's
a
a
trooper.
She took
yeah.
she took a bullet to the arm. It was like
She's fine, man.
and she like fist bumped like Chris Hemsworth.
like,
Yeah,
go get him.
go get him.
I'll help you in the sequel.
Right. I was like, give the kid a gun.
So the villain is motivated by revenge. Just his
Mhm.
yeah, his brother is in prison. He's kind of mad that they extended his sentence, even though he's kind of a bad guy.
And running the prison.
Yeah. So that's his first motivation. Then the brother gets killed, and now he's mad at Hemsworth because he killed his brother.
For some reason, he was mad at his brother's body. For some reason, he's like slapping it like a side of meat. Couldn't get over that.
He has this bearded kind of, I don't know, fairy god man that,
Yeah.
that kind of,
Kind of a generic Call of Duty villain, really.
yeah, this is this bearded guy who's trying to give him some wisdom, but
Yeah.
he doesn't follow the wisdom. He shoots the man.
But he's like, I always thought there was a bullet in my future, but not from yours.
But it's also like always the deaths that always drive me crazy. She's just
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, you're gonna be slumping down like he was
What did you guys think of the other characters in this movie besides him? Well, we all love Hemsworth. He's a great guy. He doesn't have like much to do other than kill guys.
just his
in
dog
this.
and go on a trip and go back to his dog.
Yeah.
I like the brother and sister. I thought they were cool.
the
Yeah.
handler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
handlers.
Oh, I was like, didn't we just talk about the brother being so bad the whole
No,
time?
no.
Other brother.
Other
And
brother.
I
they're
did.
fine.
I did like his relationship with Chris Hemsworth, the brother.
Mhm.
Like when he had that shirt on, he's like, "I'll get you one," and he does.
Yeah.
Like a
I feel
Valentino, like $1,500 shirt.
I feel like they could have used him for a little more humor, a
Yeah.
little bit more spread out in there. But oh well. I did like the sister-in-law. I feel like the actress did a really good job
Mm.
portraying that part.
Oh, the mom?
Yeah, the kind of desperation and everything. I thought she did a really good job. And fitting in that situation, was kind of like the weirdest thing in the movie, or like the plot is not the weirdest thing. The plot, in,
saying.
in the reasonable plot. And the reasonable plot was how the brother in prison had them go live with him so he could be with his family. It's like, you just imprisoned your whole family for your selfish means. It was
My
ridiculous.
big issue with the characters is the bad guy isn't like distinguishable between like the other bad guys.
Naturally, they do look
Like
a lot
I
alike.
thought, like I couldn't tell him from the brother or like anyone on the team. I was
What about the giant rhinoceros man?
If he's not playing Rhino in the Spider-Man movies,
I will say that the next big action scene, the one in the like the hotel or whatever,
Yeah.
was basically like us during Warzone. Like that's what it reminded me of. I'm like, this is just chaos. And like, I'm getting flashbacks from our time. Like, just get him, get in the hallway, get it. But like, even
did
the
you like-
falling.
Did you like the gym equipment?
Me and Jared will never use a leg press. Again.
although the one where he like wraps around the dude's neck and it throws him, I don't know if there was enough weight dropping to throw that.
I didn't
man.
see it a lot.
It didn't look like a lot, and he
But-
also like just wrapped the cord around, then the cord was gone, and he just fell.
Yeah.
The squat rack one. That was.
That
So
was
he just like
cool.
"Chaka," and you just hear that. But no, oh man, that brings another. Why didn't they just shoot the bad
Yeah,
guy?
we got to
Just-
talk about this.
There's 5 times in this movie they should have shot someone and they don't.
Nice. And then finally at the end, it's like finally.
Yeah, when you know he's pretty much dead.
Yeah.
so I watched a lot of horror movies. Recently, I watched Terrifier 2, and in that, the same thing. The main chick in that hits him once with like the shovel or like the spike or something like that. Like I'd be like going, making sure he's dead. They go, and then they won't run off and do something. I'm like, and then it happened in this, like a supposedly more competent film or like
Yeah.
a higher budget film. And then they just slap him and then they go on. He didn't even slap him. But gravity just took him down.
Yeah.
I was so upset.
And then so the female lead, she had a chance to shoot him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she runs off instead
That made me so mad.
while they're hanging. And
Well-
he's just a hanging target. Like,
That's the thing. Is that,
Yeah, do what he said.
So she like shot it. She shot at him, so like the glass falls down, so he's hanging there, and then you see that there's a bullet sticking out because obviously the gun jammed. Well, then Chris Hemsworth slings her, to, like into like the balcony or whatever, and he's like, "Go!" And I'm like,
Yeah.
Or
end of movie.
"That's all you had to do."
Or the rack of weights. He could just
Just like throw at him. But like all 5 of us were just like, "Shoot him! Shoot him!"
Oh man. Okay, so we got through the building. Then they go back to the Hemsworth comp.
There's still one more shooting part though,
Is there?
because she's supposed to shoot him there, and you're like, why aren't you shooting him? Then Hemsworth gets back up and does the whole fight on the thing.
Yeah,
And
Oh,
the dude
yeah.
falls down.
falls
and,
down.
Like,
Yeah.
is like that. And Chris Hemsworth's like, okay, we're good. He
Then
runs up,
he gets like a comms like, "I'm on my way."
Yeah.
And it's like,
and somehow
Oh,
the dude on the
yeah.
ground knocked out, having a hard time, which Chris Hemsworth should have shot there. End of story. Boom, done. He's like, oh, I got to make it to the roof. Chris Hemsworth is a floor above, has a head start, shows up late. Like, what did he stop off to do?
yeah, the bad guy gets there first and shoots the brother. I'm just
Yeah.
like, and then even we're just like, where'd he come from?
And Chris Hemsworth, just in the back, coming around the air conditioning vent, like he was
Maybe he had a
peeing off the
secret
roof or something.
elevator or something.
I don't know.
Oh, and then we got to talk about the helicopter ride.
Yeah.
Because they're riding in this helicopter, and the female handler is driving it. But her brother's dying in the back seat.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
called flying it. Just
Well, yeah. And
Piloting.
she's very upset, as you would be. And she's not very attentive to the road.
the road.
the skyline.
The sky road. So she's looking back like constantly during this scene, and they're just flying straight to where they go.
Not
She's
just-
looking down and leaning
Yeah,
forward.
I was about to say, not just looking back, but then she goes, ah, like,
The helicopter should have just went like.
So it's very dubious that they actually made it back to Hemsworth's house. But they do. In
oh, and all this is because that stupid kid we were talking about
Yes.
Texted his uncle.
texts his uncle, is like, save me.
Oh yeah, because first of all, they give him on the jet plane to the hotel.
oh yeah.
They give him a phone.
No, he
No,
steals
he
it.
takes it
Did he
from-
steal it?
Yeah.
Well, okay,
I missed that.
one,
I
he
missed
does
that.
steal it, but everybody else, like, someone should have known that phone was gone.
I totally missed that.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, they
Yeah.
should have been watching.
So did they.
Because they know the kid doesn't want to do that, and he wants to know where his papa is, and his papa's dead. And it's like, watch.
Well, then he's
watch
like,
the questionable kid.
I'm sorry. Like he's remorseful, and then he still runs to like the psychotic uncle.
Yeah.
Uh,
This kid's got problems,
The
man.
kid. Yeah.
Kid sucks.
The kid sucks.
And then the fact that he, like we said, caused multitudes of deaths, multitudes of damages. Like he has no future.
Police
Kid's life is over.
That police department will never be the same.
I don't know how they had enough guys for all of this.
There was a good sharpshooter on there.
Yeah,
There
it
was.
in the chopper
Yeah.
too. Man. He was like,
But
oh my
then, but then the
God.
uncle does like the 1 in a million shot with the RPG.
Oh, I know.
It's like the tail. I was like, okay.
Talking about Extraction 2, we're getting to the end of the review. Hemsworth is back at his house. He's put up some nice lights, I said.
Looks like you could hang out there.
Yeah, he decorated a little bit.
Good hang place.
Yeah, have a few.
Did he do it or did someone else do it while he was gone?
Don't know. It's
Edge's
unclear.
album.
Idris Elba was in there. He's like, he did have milk. I don't know if you noticed that. He had milk on the countertop. He was opening up. And I'm like, did Idris Elba? He's like, yeah,
He's gonna enjoy this.
give him a few minutes.
I mean, we'll comfy in it. I don't know.
The brother's dead in the bed.
Yeah, why put him in the
Why
bed?
put him in the bed?
Leave the body outside. Like, it's gone.
Also, it's gonna smell. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna rot.
Gross. He's gonna
You
eat in the
literally-
bed.
yeah.
That mattress is
You
finished.
could literally put it in the snow and
Yeah.
be like frozen.
Preserved.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made with
A lot of
the bed.
mistakes were made.
Hemsworth's ex-wife comes. We get a little backstory into that because we only had like flashes in the first
Yeah.
movie. We find out that his son was dying.
Of sickness.
Yeah, he had cancer or something. So they kind of talk about it. Hemsworth, he just couldn't take watching his son die, so he kind of took off for Afghanistan.
Like you do.
Yeah.
As one does.
So obviously the wife wasn't too happy with that because she had to bear all the responsibility of watching her kid die. But they talk it out finally and kind of have a heart to heart. So they're pretty good. Plus he's trying to save her sister. So
He's technically his nephew.
I know everyone's related in this
Yeah.
movie.
It's a soap opera.
And we get the last battle because the bad guy calls him up and he's like, "Hey, I'm still a bad guy." And Hemsworth's like, "Okay, I'll come get you."
Which apparently he's just down the road from
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
He just drives there. It's like, how long are you driving?
He's at the Verdansk airport, if you remember that. So they go to the handler wants to go with him, but Hemsworth's like, "No, you gotta stay here."
He locks her out of the car.
Yeah.
Please, please.
No.
No.
Stay with the dead guy.
So Hemsworth goes to the showdown. What you guys think of the last fight?
He
I
pulled,
actually liked it.
he
Yeah.
pulled a me at the first opening of that.
It's true.
Fight scene with the grenade
Oh,
launcher.
yeah.
Because if you
There's somewhere in here.
so when we play like Warzone, I hog the grenade launcher if we ever find one, and you can immediately tell when I get trigger happy because like all 6 grenades will like fly out of my grenade launcher, and like Joseph and Michael are like ah!
He does the smart thing, takes out the plane,
Yeah.
takes out the vehicles.
He snipes that one dude with that explosive
With the
thing.
grenade
Oh,
launcher.
yeah.
Which also doesn't really make any sense because he uses the red dot in the center instead of like,
Yeah,
put it
or
beams.
the arc.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the distance. I don't know what the heck they're called. But yeah, it's like, and it's pinpoint directly on it.
Well, no, I like the bad guys that run out. They're like Dimitri.
We told you not to stay up there.
So you like the ending?
I like the last fight. Except for the last shot of it when they're like laying side by side. I cracked up at this.
They needed to grab hands.
They look like a couple.
It was adorable.
What do you think of the
Actually,
last
I liked it a lot. I like what Thomas said. Him just going ham because he's like, this was before he leaves his house and he just is loading all this crap. You see the grenade launcher. And I'm like, oh yeah, that'll probably there's a
Get one
chase
shot,
scene
yeah.
or something.
Usually
Yeah,
they
one
save
shot.
it for last.
But yeah, he just immediately goes in. Nope. Which is kind of dangerous because the kid. It could have been like, hey, the kid's somewhere here.
Hey, he's
You don't know
extracting
where.
them like the other guys were extracting.
Yeah, fire then ask questions. But I actually did like it a lot. I like that like I said while we were watching it, the classic setting of it being in an older architecture
Like,
thing.
Joseph mentioned it reminded me of the ending of Skyfall.
Yeah, true. Ending of Skyfall, ending of I don't know in my head. Ending of like Jack
John Wick
Reacher,
4.
John Wick.
Home Alone.
I'm sorry.
Come on. Come on, too.
True.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Pause. We forgot there was a cool guy moment in this when he pulled the pins on that guy's grenade
That
on
was
his
cool.
vest.
Oh,
But he didn't
yeah.
even look.
In the parking
Just walked
garage. He's
off.
just, yeah, I forgot about the parking garage fight.
Yeah, that's cool.
What
I
do you
like-
think of the end?
I liked it. I liked how brutal it got with like that hunk of metal on like
Yeah.
the chain, and he just.
Oh, I know. That's nasty.
Saw.
The
This
song.
one-
that was the worst. And then he starts going down. And I was like, no.
They
please.
love that. Like the female handler just loves knives and going like
Oh,
that.
I
And
know.
I'm like, please, just kill
Let
them.
me open an artery right there.
She's like
Um,
trying to go Black Widow the whole movie. Like it was like you have
Yeah.
distance, but she's like, I'm gonna close this distance and we're gonna wrap around you like a freaking snake. I'm like, Jesus.
I don't know if this is just me from watching all these horror movies, but do you ever feel satisfied when they kill the main dude? Like it's never enough. Like he did like kind of like walk up him with that spike.
With those spikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
But I would
expecting-
have just like headbutt that dude to death because he was beating me to death. He did a lot of crap that would have pissed me off. I've been so
I
mad.
was expecting more.
Yeah, I was very upset. Not upset, just
he just starts like prying him open.
Dang!
Well, I thought it was like since they're in the church and they kind of went like with the whole like religious background thing. I thought he was gonna crucify him with those nails for a second. I was like, okay.
Erects him. on-
Yeah.
That would have been too symbolic for this movie.
Yeah, true. They only thought about the fighting. They didn't think about
Yeah.
story or
I did-
meaning or
And
anything.
I did like the ending where he just like
About time.
all of us were just like, God, thank you.
Finally, shoot the man.
And when they were laying there, I thought they were. You remember the movie like I Was Never Here, where he kills that guy and he starts singing a song with them.
Mm.
I thought he was gonna do that. But it was like, this is like the best friend.
Okay. Any last words on the ending?
No.
Anything we missed?
Oh, then at the end of all this, they go to prison,
Yeah.
Oh,
which
yeah.
was
yeah.
weird. A weird turn
Yeah. Why were they going to prison?
because apparently there are foreign nationals that are like severely armed and like terrorizing the countryside.
I guess so.
I guess
but
so.
They kind of took out a major drug trafficker and
Drug trafficker, terrorist, and everything. really?
yeah. So you think they'd be a little lenient on them, but I guess not. I guess.
It's also
Oh.
Georgia, so who knows?
I mean, why wasn't the kid in prison?
That's true.
He did
Yeah.
more damage than anyone.
The kid got the electric chair, so.
Oh my
uh,
we didn't see him.
yeah, he did. He wasn't. Luckily, he wasn't at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And then Idris Elba shows up. And he's like, "I'm gonna hire you," or like, "You guys want to come work for me?"
Yeah, we get a whole like Nick Fury vibe from
Yeah.
him. Like we're starting the Avengers.
And he's like, "Who's you working for?" He's like, "One gnarly guy," and I swear to God, he said Narnia.
Yeah, we all
I
heard, we all heard Narnia.
For Aslan and for Narnia.
So is that what he said? A gnarly?
gnarly guy. Yeah, which
Was that him?
I don't know. He's like hinting like it's a gnarly guy. I'm like,
It's gonna be Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
yes,
That would
like,
be kind of awesome.
but I don't know. Like it's like the way he said it. It seems like we should know who
Yeah.
he's working for. I'm like, I don't know. Bruce Willis. He's just running things.
Yeah.
It's like they're getting like promoted to the Expendables or
Yeah.
something.
Joe Russo.
I didn't like that last scene.
The very last
yeah, I
scene.
didn't like it either.
I don't like setting up for a sequel with this
Yeah, just
Yeah.
series.
end it and then
Well, it wasn't originally going to be a sequel.
No.
Like
Sure.
obviously they meant to just kill him. So they're like, no, it's too.
Gotta do another
We
one.
gotta do another one.
So
they have already greenlit a third one, I think.
Okay,
Really
so,
did?
we're getting a third one. I think it was a huge mistake, maybe not to put this in the theaters because
True.
Yeah.
if this is in theaters, this is out earning The Flash and
Yeah.
Probably,
Indiana
yeah.
Jones
Especially,
right now.
like the hype that's gone around from the people who are like, yeah, that's actually really fun and awesome.
Yeah, so I would be very surprised if they don't put the third one in the theaters.
This was like, okay, it sounds weird. This is like a dumb man's version of John Wick.
Yeah,
Like it has like similar like backstories.
It's the American version of John Wick.
Well,
Not that John Wick is American, but like John Wick feels more
Very
foreign.
European,
Yeah, very
yeah.
different. This is very much like
which is
I'm
ironic.
G.I. Joe, I'm gonna kill people.
Well, which is ironic because there's no Americans in this movie.
yeah, it's true. He's Australian.
It's all
Oh, true,
Australians
yeah,
and
yeah.
Europeans. But it's the same like backstories of like it's directors who
Yeah.
are stuntmen who like basically got a chance to
Mm.
do action movies. And granted, the action in this is very well put together. I just kind of wish they had a better story. Like John Wick is okay. It's a dumb story. Like you kill
But it's
all these
cohesive.
people.
Like
Yeah, no, but the thing is, it's consistent throughout
Yeah.
all four, and so I don't know. It's weird to see like this. Like, oh, you guys didn't quite do what you're supposed to do. The action's good. I'll say that.
So if we're seeing kind of the end of the superhero boom in Hollywood, maybe this kind of replaces these kind of movies.
I wouldn't be sad
I
about
feel like
it.
we had that in like the 90s.
yeah.
With
Right.
these kind of movies.
because they're a lot cheaper to make. than-
Yeah. Well, and I wouldn't be mad about it because it gives people who are competent, like the stunt guys who have been directing action scenes behind the scenes for years, a chance to actually do something.
Yeah, because John Wick and this guy are
Yeah.
both former.
And they're
stunt
both good. Like camera work in this was actually pretty cool, like and well done. So I mean, if you just has somebody who, that's the sad thing about the Russos too. They're pretty good,
I
but
know.
but I swear it's just
Stop
like
doing these things.
it's like rough draft. Like here you go.
You need a writer.
What about where you could have shot? It doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter. Just
Doesn't
get it
matter.
out. Here's the script. Full. Done. Go away.
We need writers, but they're on a writer's strike,
True.
so we probably will just keep getting this
We're
kind
just
of
getting-
movie.
the next movie's no dialogue whatsoever, just fight.
That would be cool.
I would
I
actually
be more
That would actually be kind of
It would be
cool.
interesting.
We can finally get the Snake Eye movie that we always wanted.
Was actually good?
Yeah.
One thing that bothered me through the entire movie was they never. I was like, I'm expecting too much from this, but they show in the initial point that he's deaf and he needs hearing aids.
Mhm.
Never played to that in the slightest.
No.
We never had a silent fight from his point of
Yeah.
view where he
Yeah.
doesn't know where. I was expecting something from that.
The only thing
Yeah.
we get is like him getting annoyed and going like,
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to hear the children.
All right, so that's our thoughts on Extraction 2. What do you guys? Any hopes for Extraction 3? Any direction you want to
It'd
see?
be fun.
Can't wait to see this gnarly dude.
I know it better be a gnarly dude. I mean, we better
What's
get-
funny is if it is a gnarly dude and it is Liam Neeson, it's going to be Aslan.
That's true. He played.
He played Aslan.
Yeah, we can get Jeff Bridges maybe.
Jeff Bridges.
Gnarly.
Nobody wants Jeff Bridges.
I don't know. Extract. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm sure it'll be out like next year.
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Do it pretty quickly.
But that's gonna be it for this review. If you guys would like to subscribe, like, and notify yourself for even more good stuff,
Someone like, the dogs here.
Mhm.
we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Still got Marmite in my mouth.